Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Yep, that's the RunCam 3S. This thing has been reviewed to death, but I'm going to go ahead and do my style. We're going to do some flight testing with a micro, and guess what? It results in a crash. So the basics of the camera, you get a manual with it, which is fine. It tells you what you need to know, and you also get another cable where you can plug it in to a USB port, as you see there, and then you can wire it up to your flight controller and use it for those purposes, whichever, probably fixed wing sort of stuff, I'm guessing. I can't see a use in FPV, especially not in micros. It weighs almost 70 grams, measures 40 millimeters by 38 millimeters by 37 millimeters. Power button, record and stop button, 3 LED lights to indicate that it's on and how much power it has, micro USB, turn on Wi-Fi, LED indicator, battery, and micro SD bay. And that card is a pain to get to. So when you turn it on, it makes some beeps. It also makes some beeps when you turn it off, so you long press on the button. Now it's on. You can see we've got the red light there on the front. We don't have anything currently on the back. We should be able to press this button and we get our Wi-Fi on. You're primarily going to use a smartphone or a tablet and the RunCam app in order to control the different settings. Alright, so we got our beep, we got our blue light. I'm going to take my phone out here and I am going to connect to the Wi-Fi network that is the RunCam 3. You can see I've got the RunCam or RC3S right there. The default password is 123456789. Once I'm connected, I launch the RunCam app. This is a really old smartphone, by the way. Which one is this? This is a Galaxy S4. That's how old this phone is. So this has the ability to connect to other RunCam products. So we need to select our RunCam 3S. Select connect to our camera. So there you go. You get a little shot of my setup. I got PCs out here in front, and boy, just a smattering of stuff just everywhere. Let's see. There's a quad. Does anybody know that quad? There's a quad over there. Oh, there's some canopies I was working on. Oh, what's that guy? Can you see that guy over in the corner there? Anyways, that's enough of that. So in the app, you have all these settings across the top, and you can change those out. I'm not going to go into great detail. Basically, you know, you have a lot of settings that you can change, whether it's the field of view, which you have the FOV there icon. You can change your contrast, your brightness, your saturation, whether you're running 1080p, 60 frames a second, or some lower resolution. You can see that indicated right here. Maybe you want to do some white balance, things of that nature. You also have time lapse. You've got photo, video, and you've got, well, there's time-lapse again. Oh, video time-lapse that time. So obviously it makes a lot of beeps, and this is how you control the app, and then it does the recording and things that you tell it to from the app in there. Now, one thing I did note is that there are some settings within here that if you're running it via Wi-Fi very long, the default settings will end up shutting the camera down. At least that's what my experience was. The camera, I would fly, I actually went for several flights before I figured this out. So I went flying, and to come back and the camera was all the way off. I only had one successful flight in my first 4, and then I dove into the Wi-Fi settings and turned off all the different stuff that said anything about auto shut off. I just turned it off, went back out, and I found that the camera stayed on. Also on the back it says hot. It's not extremely hot here anymore. It's running about 82 degrees, I think, is our high. We do have a 90-degree day coming, but not yet. But I didn't find that this got hot, so maybe it does, and it's just not doing it right now. But anyway, so they printed it in giant letters hot, but I didn't experience it getting hot. So that's the basic app. This is how you control the camera. There are no screen on the back. There's nothing really you can do, so you're going to need to have a smartphone or a tablet or something of that nature. What I wanted to do was I wanted to actually put it on a quad and then go fly it, so I could show you what 70 extra grams on a quad looks like. Now, we just did the hype train motors. You saw that video. I screwed that video up, and then I had to re-render it because it was rendered at 15 frames per second. And so I'm going to show you the flight that resulted in this mayhem, which is a clean snap of that arm. This frame, by the way, this is the Fly Frog. I think they also call it the Fly Frog number 5. It's 135 millimeters. I actually kind of like the frame. I like the elevated camera position, so you only have a little bit of prop in view. It also protects the camera fairly well. But I think adding the 70 grams was probably more than likely the factor causing this arm to snap. And you'll see it, it's pretty dramatic. The camera comes down with the quad, but when hits, I think, is when the camera comes apart. I should have mentioned earlier in the review, you also get 2 straps that have this silicone stuff, and you can see on mine, this was before the crash. This started coming off. So you get 2 of these, and of course in the crash I broke this one. You get to look at the video that it does record. Remember, it's $99. You know, it's not GoPro-like. In the people that I've talked to about this camera, they felt that the original was better. I don't have the original to compare it to. I actually don't have a lot of action cam experience because I do fly micros, and so typically we're using something like this. If you want a little better, you usually use something like this. This is the Hawksky Firefly, and this comes in dramatically less. You know, this is 70 grams, and I think if I recall correctly, this was like 16, the version that has the battery in it. It also comes with a mount, but this is a printed mount that I did afterwards. And this takes pretty good video, but not bad. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't hurt your performance. Now, this is a pretty good and powerful 3-inch, and you're going to find that this flies pretty well even with the extra 70 grams. I am using a China Hobbyline 4S 450 milliamp battery. The flight's only about 2.5 minutes, so let's get into it. You can enjoy a smashing good crash. Yeah, and the camera's fine too, by the way. So a little bit of a durability test too. Woohoo! If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in that section down below. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.